And if you saw my love, you'd love him too.
Hello and welcome back to the North American Rival Series. For our final matchup of the day is going to be Chaos Esports versus sorry about that, hear a voice in my ear, but it's gonna be versus Absolute Leverage. And guys, this is gonna be pretty intense. Absolute Leverage, if they win this series, they are for sure staying with us in the Rival Series. And I mean, this is just, again, it's important for both teams because Chaos Esports still have a chance to try and claim one of the top 3 positions for that promotion relegation tournament for RLCS. And so, Sam, I'm going to start with you here, but Absolute Leverage have been one of the most inconsistent teams when you look at their win-loss record. What is needed for them to be consistent here today?
Well, I don't know that I know what it takes to be consistent, but I know they're going to have to find that consistency. There's no doubt about that. They haven't only been inconsistent in the win-losses, but also on the field as well. They're a team that is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde situation. Sometimes they find those goals, and sometimes they don't. They played a lot of one-goal games, but in general, if they get to at least the 3-goal mark, this season when that's happened, they are 8-1. So right now for Absolute Leverage, they should be thinking offense, trying to find that offense. Can they find it? That's been the big question mark for them. It's been really either feast or famine for them as you look at their results.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be feast or famine for both these teams. And kind of hopping over to Chaos Esports, Sleegy, Chaos Esports, like we said, they are in contention for both the RLCS promotion position, but they are also potentially on the chopping block for Rival Series Season 10. How would you recommend they approach the series today? What do they need to do here to take down Absolute Leverage?
Well, I mean, they really just need to focus up. They need to try and build a lead early on and then not throw it away. I mean, as we've seen even on this stream today, a team can have an incredible lead and then let it slip straight through their fingers. So that's, I think, to me, is going to be what's important for this Chaos Esports team is just, building an initial lead, getting that foundation set, and then staying on top of it. Don't let them come back. Don't let them get an inch, because once you start giving up space like that is when another team smells blood and can start to really fight their way back in the series.
I mean, on the bright side, at least they got to watch another team learn that lesson and hopefully pick it up from them, At least they didn't have to learn the hard way like Monkey Business unfortunately did. Yeah, so I mean, they got a chance now to kind of get themselves in a proper mental space and just not let up on the gas once they find that lead like we're talking about. But that leads me into the next part. Sleegy, I'm going to go back to you here. What do you predict this series is going to turn out as?
All right. I have not gotten a single prediction correct all season. It hasn't happened. I want one. I just want one. I don't care if the game played is correct. I just want one. So I am going to go with Chaos EC because I really do think that they're the ones who are going to be able to take this. But I want one correct prediction. That's all I want. Chaos EC, I say they take it 3-1, but just give me one, guys. Come on.
So now I'm glad you asked Sleegy first, because then that just means I go the exact opposite, and that'll make sure that no matter what happens, something good will happen, right? It's kind of like a win-win for both of us. I'm trying to get you that win, Sleegy. I'm putting myself out there. If I lose,
wait, how do I win if you're right?
No, if I lose, you'll win, right? So I'm gonna go the other side. I'm going Absolute Leverage. Okay. They have a lot of momentum. Can they find their teamwork? That is what we will see moving forward. So it's going to be tough for them, but I'm mostly anti-Sleegy choice, and so I'm going Absolute Leverage.
I mean, to be honest, though, you could really flip a coin between both these teams because every single team that Chaos Esports has beaten have been the teams that Absolute Leverage has lost to. And then all the teams that Absolute Leverage has beaten are the teams that Chaos has lost to. And that's what we were talking about that inconsistency for Absolute Leverage. I mean, at the end of the day, I just think I have to go with Chaos Esports here. I mean, this is just a really solid team, and they've got plenty of experience behind them compared to this Absolute Leverage team that I find it hard to root against them, but there's a little bit of superstition here. I will concede that much. But guys, if you are interested, please go check out some of our merchandise. You can do !store there in chat. And you can also purchase one of these cool hats. You can purchase a bunch of other things like a cool hoodie. We even have pillows for some reason on that store. So go take a look. I'm sure you'll find something you're interested in. But last but not least, we want to hear your predictions at home. Do !CHS for Chaos Esports and do !ALEV for Absolute Leverage. That is going to do it here for me. Guys, take us into our final game of the day.
Appreciate it. And, I'm really excited about this series. I think that this is going to be one that sort of lives up to the expectation that at least that first series set for us. And I'm just excited, Sam, to see how this goes either way,
No doubt about it. I think it's going to be just as competitive. I certainly hope that it will be. When you look at the standings, though, you look at where the teams are, just like that last season, there is a lot riding on the line here for this match. So I'm sure that the teams understand that. They're going to bring their best gameplay for us in our final match of the night, Sleegy. Actually, the final match of our B stream as well. It's been such a fantastic season so far. Hate to see it come to an end, but it's going to definitely be a good closing match here. I'm sure of that. These two teams, literally so much on the line right now, especially when you look at the possibility of dropping out of rival series. That's the bottom, right? That's definitely not where they want to be.
I mean, especially for Chaos in this situation, because this is sort of reminiscent to Renault Vitality and RLCS last season, where you're like one game away from going and just being completely dropped out. So an interesting situation for them, from being able to not qualify to auto-qualifying. It's just, the implications are so crazy right now that all that it really comes down to is seeing how the games play and looking at the standings once they're over and sort of getting a feel for what this is going to look like in order to see which of these teams is going to make it. It's crazy.
Yeah, and don't forget that Chaos, their final match after this one, they've got 2 more matches. Their final match is against Charlotte Phoenix. So that is going to be an incredibly tough test for them. So when we talk about the potential of dropping out, it is a very real potential. They've got to show up in these last 2 matches. And looking at that opponent forward, this match against Absolute Leverage is certainly one that they cannot drop. This has got to be a win for Chaos EC moving forward.
And that it is, and it looks like everyone is pleased with the server that we've got for them. So we're just a couple of moments away from getting started with the final series of tonight. The final series, like you mentioned, of B-Stream. It's been an incredible journey here, and this is an excellent series for us to cap it off with. And I want to see it go to Game 5 again. I want to see both Chaos and Absolute Leverage really give this game, quite literally, everything they have. Because not only do I want to be entertained, I want everybody watching to be entertained as well. And this has been the most entertaining season of Rival that we've had.
No doubt about that. It's a situation, guys, you don't want to look away as we get into game number 1. If you do, you may miss that moment. It could be the moment for one of these teams that changes the course of their not just their season, but their Rocket League career moving forward. So much on the line. We got Chaos EC in the blue. They're the veterans to the rival series going up against Absolute Leverage over in the orange. We have game number 1. No, we don't.
And we're getting the server fixed just a little bit. Don't worry. But once we do, which will be, I'm just going to say in the next 45 seconds, we'll have the game on screen, hopefully. For you, we can get started, and all of the talking and everything that's been leading up into this will finally culminate in starting out on the field. Sorry for a little bit of issues at the beginning, but once we get started, we assure you it will be well worth your time.
Oh, no doubt. This is just building up that anticipation. Even me, I'm like, all right, let's go. I am ready to see these games, so I'm amped up. It's making sure people have their eyes on the screen. Like I said, guys, you don't want to miss it. I think this is finally it, Sleegy. I think.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
We're good now. There we go.
There we go.
All right, so server is good to go. Players are on the field, and we're ready to get kicked off with game number 1 of Absolute Leverage and Chaos Esports. Here we are. Kickoff, that's going to be immediately won by Leverage, but it's Chaos, who gets a quick return on that. And as we sort of start off this game, I'm getting an immediate feeling of a bit of hesitation from both teams right now. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of speed, more just some testing the water happening right now.
Yeah, definitely hard to glean being early, but yeah, you can see a lot of space in mid. Teams are waiting back, seeing what is going to come at them. We'll see if that continues moving forward or if the pace of play quickens as we get further into this series.
That's going to be one to Mike, sending it off the backboard. Kinsey dropping that back again. So one to Mike touch. It's going to fall down. Rodoko sending that to the right side. Kinsey. Ooh, gets it around one, but Corrupted G with a good follow through to send it back downfield again. Toroko going to be putting that off the backboard, but Rodoko going to keep that off. Mektos again almost actually connects with Corrupted G there on the follow through. But a good clear downfield, and it'll be Corrupted G who has to try and get it away.
First shot on the board for Chaos EC and the first chance for either team. Here's now Chaos looking for another chance, but Kinsey able to get that block off the backboard. Big clear as we play back downfield. Does kind of feel like KSEC are starting to gain a little bit of favor here as the field tilts ever so slightly, but still is very, very early, and we've seen really both teams just continue to do that, a little bit of that feeling out you talked about.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that ends up resulting in a goal in the near future. About a minute and a half has passed thus far. It's going to be a good pass from Corrupted G over to Mektos. Off the corner, follow-up backboard. Toroko's there. He drops it down for Corrupted G. That's going to get blocked by Rodoko. Good opportunity there for Chaos, but solid defending on the side of Absolute Leverage, as that's going to reverse field yet again. Corrupted G is there to pick it up, but he gets demoed. And now Rodoko in a 2v1 situation, but he gets demoed himself. Some back and forth physical play happening right now as one to Mike, looking to get the follow through, but he finds a touch that knocks it down, and Corrupted G to send it back downfield.
This is definitely one of those matches where both teams are looking to go for the skilled plays. You're not necessarily seeing the speed, but you will see attempts to find each other, look for passing plays, and look for individual efforts as well, as far as, you know, getting the ball as far downfield as you can as an individual. Find it interesting, Sleegy, that the style of threes is slowing down in the visual, but the level of skill continues to increase.
Ooh, that it does. Toroko almost finds a really well-placed ceiling shot there. It's going to be one to Mike, though, that clears it off his back wall, gets the second touch over Toroko. That's Kinsey with an open net, but he can't get it on target. And Mektos to clear it away. Huge opportunity for Absolute Leverage to get ahead, but we remain scoreless in this game one as time continues to pass and the defense holding strong on both sides.
That was a big, big opportunity as the ball was fed right out to Kinsey. I have Kinsey as the player who needs to step up and play well for Absolute Leverage to do well as well. Of course, one to Mike, he's going to be there. He's going to make big plays. But I think Kinsey is kind of that difference maker. That's a beautiful pass out center to one to Mike as I talk about Kinsey. Nearly sets up the first goal for Absolute Leverage.
Oh, and that's a great pickup from Kinsey as well. Looking to follow it through is one to Mike. Sending it off the backboard. Good touch from Corrupted G. He can't find the follow-up, but neither can Kinsey. So it's Mektos who's able to get the touch off of Rodoko. Zip back over. Mektos again, keeping it up in the Leverage half. 60 seconds remain. It's good 50s there from Corrupted G, but no one on his team able to respond. It's Mektos sending it back over again. Back and forth action. Feels like a game of ping pong right now as both teams just giving away possession. It's Kinsey sending it off the back wall, but it's again right into the clutches of Toroko, who gets it past both. Limited boost, though. He's just trying to brute force his way downfield. And now with 30 seconds left, this could start to become golden goal territory.
Certainly, with just 30 seconds, it does look like that first goal will be what decides this game. Errant clear right out to Corrupted G. Not able to take advantage, though. As we get down to under 20 seconds, Sleegy, you can feel the stakes in the way that the teams are playing. Neither team wants to make a mistake.
Oh, and that's a good hit off the corner. Final 5 seconds ticking down. Kinsey off the backboard. Rodoko was there, but he didn't find the touch. Ball still floating in the air. Taroko had an opportunity, and we're going to see overtime in game number 1.
Hey, another overtime. I'm okay with that. Overtime is exciting. Those two are synonymous with one another. Hopefully we'll see another great moment like we saw in that previous series. We're in overtime, and we're still looking for our first goal, Sleegy. These two teams have played each other as close as you possibly can.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast from what we saw last series. There was a defense to be seen for sure, but the defensive showcase that's being put on right now, it's definitely a change of pace. It's skillful, though, and I enjoy watching it. Especially when we have an overtime like this, it becomes that much more tense. Which defense is going to be the one to break first? There's a demolition from Kinsei on Mektos almost opened up some space. It's a pinch from Wanda, but it's off. Now Taroko looking to send this downfield. Rodoko will pick it up off his own back wall, puts it over to Wanda Mike. That could be an opportunity off the backboard. Rodoko's there. He gets over one, looks for the second. He gets it, but Kinsei a bit too far away. He does follow it up off the sidewalk, gets the flip reset, and Mektos just perfectly positioned to keep it away.
Yeah, that defensive wall, but they're not done yet. Another play as Wonder Mike's up off the backboard. Rodoko over to the side, and Kinsei waiting. Absolute leverage continuing to press here. They're finding offense, but looking for that first goal. What a crazy, crazy game, Sleeky. It feels like we've already played a couple games so far. This is still just game number 1.
Both teams trying to find that illusory hole that'll get them the goal that will win the game. It's Kinsei sending that downfield, but it's right into the clutches of Corrupted G. Wanda Mike following it up. Kinsei was there to receive, but he was well and surely surrounded. Taroko now has an opportunity. Gets it past 1, gets it past 2. Off the bar. Corrupted G can't get it through, and Kinsei sends it up. I thought for sure that was the end of game 1, Sam, but we trudge on. What a defensive play.
They nearly gave it up, did absolute leverage as Taroko almost gets that goal that makes this a win here for Chaos EC, but we continue to play on. Absolute leverage hanging on. Now they have a chance. Kinsei up top. No block there, but Mektos able to get over just in time.
Now Mektos with possession, not able to get it around Wanda Mike. It's Taroko, though, that's going to send that near goal. Rodoko over to Kinsei. They were looking for a combo play, but it got blocked away, but that won't. Wanda Mike somehow finds the touch to send it through. And after all that time, absolute leverage taking game number 1.
And both players in the air for absolute leverage. It's a double commit on offense, but when it leads to a goal, it is oh so calculated. The defender needed to make a decision which attacker is going to make a play, and you saw they thought it was going to be Rodoko. Instead, it's Wanda Mike streaking in out of nowhere to knock that ball in. Just one goal in overtime, but that's all it takes for absolute leverage to take a little bit of a controlling grasp on this series. But I say ever so little bit because we saw even an 0-2 series deficit, you never know what can happen like we saw in that previous one, Sleegy. But wow, I really feel like both teams might have even been watching that previous series, and they're not going to let a mistake be the reason they lose the series.
No, they're not. I fully expect to see Chaos bounce back in this next game and really start to push towards making some more separation early on. I think one of the biggest things that came out of this game was we saw a lot of opportunities. I mean, there was 4, 5, 6, 7 shots on the side of absolute leverage, 5 on the side of Chaos. And it was the defense that was really shining through on both sides. If Chaos can start to put a little bit more pressure than what we saw from them there, they're definitely going to start seeing some more production come out of their offense, and maybe they'll slip by this defense that has been stellar so far for absolute leverage.
Yeah, with so much space in mid, you're always going to give up opportunities, especially the potential to give up a transition goal. So yeah, for both teams, I think that is a definite possibility. Chaos EC just need to find a way to break through. Shot coming from Corrupted, turned aside, but good start for Chaos.
And it is knocked back down yet again. Rodoko trying to put that on target, but it's just wide. Oh, and the follow-up from Wonder Mike, not going to be wide, though. He sends that right on through. An absolute leverage again. Good shot.
Well-placed shot from Wonder Mike, but that was a defense for Chaos EC that would definitely want that moment back. It turned into an absolute scramble on the goal line for Chaos EC. Got to be stronger on defense, especially when we saw such a good defensive effort in game number 1. Doesn't take nearly as long to get that first goal here in game number 2.
That's a good touch from Rodoko. Wonder Mike is able to follow it through. Sending it back downfield yet again. Wonder Mike over to Kinsei, who gets demoed for his efforts. Mektos will look to follow this up, but he can't get it quite into the center of field. Corrupted G was there as well, still looking through it. Mektos going to take a shot, pings off the woodwork, and then Rodoko to clear it away. And now on the quick transition, Wonder Mike looking to try and find some space. He's going to get it past one, but a good save from Corrupted G to keep that out of net.
The defense for Chaos right now have got to be able to find a way to get these clears. They are not finding anything in mid. It's just right back into their zone every single time. Finally, we do get a big booming clear, and Taroko's there, but Rodoko with an even bigger save. What a block.
Well, still trying to find their way through right now. Wonder Mike back again on the transition yet again. It's going to be Kinsei. Ooh, that's a double commit, but Mektos makes it work. Rodoko had backed off a little bit. Wonder Mike back into the corner. Ooh, and Corrupted G almost finding his way through there. Taroko looking as well, but they can't find the touch. Mektos again trying here, blocked away from Rodoko. Taroko back again, Corrupted, and they just, man, they got so much pressure, they haven't been able to find it through. Finally, Taroko, after all of that consistent pressure, gets the goal necessary, but man, absolute leverage held on for a long time.
Yeah, a couple of big blocks on the goal line from absolute leverage, but too much pressure from Chaos EC. You saw all 3 players just creeping up, staying in the box, waiting for that chance, making sure that they take full advantage of those clears. Chaos EC get the goal, and now we're back to a tie situation. Question going to be, though, will the team start to go defensive again, or are things going to start opening up? When we get into this tie game, it really feels like teams want to be defensive. Oh my, what a play! Oh!
What a save! I was holding my breath. It was so far on the line, but it wasn't quite there, and I knew in my mind, I was like, that's savable. And they somehow find the touch. And what an excellent defensive play to keep it away. We remain tied at 1-1.
Literally gasping over here as that ball just rode the goal line. Errant clear out front. No, Mektos can't make the play. He had so much net to shoot at, but instead that ball is high, and we play on at this tie 1-1. Wow. Both
Almost
teams can
a
really
double
score at
touch
any. Yeah, it feels like you're going to see a goal at any moment.
Well, could be Taroko knocking it straight down and through. And that's going to be Chaos EC now taking the lead 2-1.
And Wonder Mike was left all alone. There is no way he's going to stop that. Not with all 3 players of Chaos EC in the zone. Absolute leverage. Got to make sure to remain defensively responsible. Now they have given up this lead, but not for long. Wonder Mike says, no. You go ahead and just hold off on that sentence. We're tied yet again.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good shot from Wonder Mike, but Mektos just had a bad takeoff on that there. Could have been able to make it, but he jumped a bit too early and with too much power. He ends up slinging right past the ball. So an unfortunate defensive play from him there, and it results in a goal that gets them back level. But with how this game has been going, again, like you were mentioning earlier, anyone can score at any time. Mektos is almost able to get one off the back of Wonder Mike there. But it's getting sent back downfield yet again. Mektos looking to follow it through. Kinsei's there. He's got the flip reset, but he just can't get it on target.
Wow, that was unbelievable. I know he didn't score there, but that reset to get by the defender, just a calculated, very, very heads-up play from Mektos. Nearly got that goal. It's a beautiful, beautiful play.
Mektos back in possession now. Good block from Wonder Mike. 60 seconds left. Kinsey still there. Almost a really good play. Wonder Mike again looking to follow it up off the side wall, but it's Mektos to block it out. 50 seconds remaining. We're tied still at 2. And again, you know, similar to game 1, we've got more goals on the board now, Sam, but this is again looking like golden goal territory potentially.
It really is, and you're going to see a lot of that defense that we saw in the first game as, again, both teams recognize they can't give it up here. Corrupted G downfield, Wonder Mike will return. Taroko, though, waiting back. You'll see this 2 men back a lot. Teams really like to do that when they want to make sure they don't give up a goal. We're going to see that here, probably looking at a potential overtime. And who doesn't want to see another overtime? I'm okay with that.
I'm down. I am on board for another overtime. But it's going to take one of these 2 teams not scoring in the next 5 seconds, which could happen as this coming close into the absolute leverage half. Corrupted G picks it up. He doesn't get enough power on it. And third, technically, if you really think about it, overtime in a row. Second in this series. And it has been overtime city tonight, and I am all the happier for it.
Yeah, I don't want this to end. We talked about this being our last stream. Maybe we can just have an overtime that never ends.
Be like that one from RLCS that just keeps going on and on and on. But we'll see what happens here. It's Corrupted G looking to get it off the back wall. Going to be sitting downfield from Wonder Mike. Oh, good block from Wonder Mike as well. Almost able to follow that through. He gets it center, but no one's there. So Mektos will look to get it around. That's another great touch. Off the sidewall, sent back down. Corrupted G looking to follow it up, but he loses his footing and just sort of flails away from it. As both of these teams try and find the space they need to put together a really aggressive counterattack.
Chaos EC have got to watch out, given so much space to Absolute Leverage. They're letting Absolute Leverage clear these balls. One of these times, you're going to see a transition from Absolute Leverage. They're just too good.
Well, a minute gone in overtime. We're still waiting on that goal to come through. Mektos looks to try and push his way. It's a great block from Rodoko. Defense is not currently back for Chaos EC. Going to be knocked down again. One to Mike. Back to Taroko. Back to Kinsey. Corrupted G just looks to try and get it out of his own half. Taroko's there to try and put something in on target. Kinsey with a really bad takeoff, but Corrupted G can't find the goal. Mektos was there as well, but that's wide. And 2 quick opportunities that could have seen Chaos taking this game, and they aren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, that shot accuracy is just not there on some of these attempts. Oh, big block from Taroko there. And now we see Mektos back downfield. That shot from Corrupted, there was a lot more to be had there. He didn't even get it on net. And that means we are playing on here in overtime. Wow, both of these 2 teams, I tell you, they really don't want to give it up. Oh, I had to wait and watch on that one.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 15 seconds into this now. Both of these squads not giving up an inch. Oh, if that pass had been a little bit softer, that could have been a glorious opportunity for Taroko. But now Rodoko looking to find his way through. He gets a demo on 1. As Wonder Mike looks to come through yet again, and the touches when they matter most are just not, they're just not happening on either side of the ball right now. It feels like the setup is all there, and the execution at the final moment is just missing by inches.
And it's hard when you have that slight little bit of hesitation. You can feel it every time a team gets down on offense. Should I go for that ball or should I just wait it out? Waiting it out, it tends to be the decision so far from both of these teams. Again, not wanting to make a mistake. So it's hard to find that good offensive momentum when you're just a little bit hesitant.
On Kinsey, again, had another really good opportunity. Another one there. One to Mike. Gonna finally be able to knock that through. So many missed opportunities. Eventually, someone is going to be able to knock that in. And Absolute Leverage go up 2-0 in the series now.
2-0, big lead. Not going to say it's everything because we just saw in that previous series that anything can happen. But Absolute Leverage, they have now a convincing grasp on this series. I love the play there from Kinsey. Kinsey down in the box, right place, right time. That subtle touch as he just bopped it right past the defenders, and that was all they needed to find that goal. One to Mike with the hat trick. Certainly the guy almost always to keep your eye on for Absolute Leverage. Such a fantastic player in One to Mike. So even though 2 overtimes we've seen now, Sleety, the result the same. 2 wins for Absolute Leverage.
Yeah, but we've seen 1 reverse sweep comeback today. It's possible now that we could see 2. Absolute Leverage have to be sure that they don't make the same mistake that their predecessors did just earlier on. They have got to try and close this out while they can, because Chaos EC is still one of the top teams in this league. And if someone was going to reverse sweep you, it's definitely going to be them to have a good chance. So you've got to try and keep your momentum. You've got to continue to mount pressure like you've seen, and really just do anything that you can to secure this in Game 3. You do not want to see Game 4 if you're Absolute Leverage.
No, we saw what can happen if you open the door and let a team back in. So yeah, if you have that convincing lead in the series, you just need 1 more win. Get it now. Don't look ahead. Don't think, oh, we have another chance if we lose it. That is definitely not the mindset to have. You want to finish teams off when you get the opportunity to do so. So yeah, for Absolute Leverage, it's their chance to kind of put their foot down on a Chaos EC team that is struggling right now. Chaos EC started the season off very, very well, but the wheels have started to come off just a little bit. They're looking to not drop their 3rd straight series.
Well, it all comes down to this game now. Absolute Leverage has the opportunity to make me not get a single prediction correct all season long, and Chaos EC have an opportunity to start an incredible comeback, and they're going to need to start it here. If they lose this game, especially in a sweep, that is not going to be good for them for the remainder of the season, which is almost over, need I remind you.
Yeah, not much time left. There's no doubt about that.
Well, as we get started here, going to be sent back downfield. One to Mike, looking to get it across. Corrupted G is there, and he'll send it back downfield. Taroko on target. Good save from Kinsei to keep it away. Now Kinsei will look to follow it through, but he can't find the touch. Rodoko finds one, though. One to Mike with the shot, and somehow that binds its way through. And that just goes to show you that sometimes those random touches in midfield can go a long way.
Man, if you give One to Mike some speed through the neutral zone and give him a chance at touching the ball at all, you are probably not going to like the result as he comes screeching through mid just to fire that ball. Little worm burner there on the ground, but it's enough. One to Mike, another goal. That's the 4th straight goal for One to Mike. He is putting Absolute Leverage on his back.
Oh, and that's a demo. Rodoko putting it through, but it's too powerful. Kinsei was following too closely, and that ball just speeds past him, and he can't find the touch. Huge missed opportunity to go up by 2 in this game, and now Corrupted G trying to dribble his way through. He can't find it. But man, I got to go back to that Absolute Leverage miss. That was a critical miss. That's not, though. That's not.
Wow. I'm watching, I'm thinking he's about to get some redemption. Kinsei from downtown fires it in. 1 foot from the goal, easy tap in. Nah, I'm going to go ahead and just bomb it from downfield. That's how I want to score. My name's Kinsei.
Well, he's able to get it through. Oh my goodness. What was that save? That was through, that I was preparing how I was going to cast that goal, and then Kinsei just comes out of nowhere and saves it away.
My camera's still on Kinsei, but watch One to Mike. Oh boy, oh man, Absolute Leverage starting to heat up. But I was saying I had my eye on Kinsei from that goal. That was a beautiful, beautiful save. Did not think he was able to get back in time. Keeps the shutout intact for Absolute Leverage, and for Chaos EC, you know they're hurting after that. Oh boy.
Oh, close call there. Vecto is able to stay in front. Will be Taroko trying to get it out of his own half right now. Knocked back down from Rodoko. Kinsei looks to get that on target. Vectos with a good clear away. Rodoko in close. Kinsei's there to get it on target. 3-0. The scoreline is now. And from bad to worse, Chaos Esports situation is.
What a demo, too, as you see the player there for Absolute Leverage streaking through, going to take out the defender. I talked a little bit about Kinsei and what he means to Absolute Leverage, and I really want to highlight that I do believe that Wonder Mike's that consistent presence. Rodoko, he's great in the air. He's going to give you what he gives you. But for Absolute Leverage to be successful, you've got to have Kinsey be that difference maker, and we're really seeing that here.
Ooh, Mektos could have a play there, though. Almost was able to make it happen. Cross over into the second half of what could be the final game of the night. That miss is not going to help them secure it, though, as Corrupted G going to take all the pleasure he can and just slamming that into the right-hand side of the net.
Good work. That's all you got to say for KSEC right there. Just working the defense down low. That pressure on the final defender. Rodoko had to back up just a little bit, and that gave the opportunity, gave just enough space for Chaos to get that goal. They will need more of that, though, as we're getting down into the 2-minute mark, and they need 2 more goals if we're going to see our third straight overtime. I want to see it. I don't care about predictions, Sleegy. I just want to keep the Rocket League going.
I do as well, but it's going to have to take a massive effort from Chaos Esports right now. They got to get 2 goals in 2 minutes. Definitely possible, but with how Absolute Leverage has been playing, they're going to have to really give it their absolute all. One to Mike, dropping that back down. Kinza back over to Corrupted G. That's going to actually fall to Mektos, who doesn't find the touch. Rodoko just following it through, and they are just getting booming clears on this ball, trying to kill as much time as they can while they still have this 2-goal advantage.
Yeah, they're forcing KSEC to make plays and beat them here. You see Absolute Leverage. They're fine with this 2-goal lead. They're going to be defensively responsible. It's going to take a big play for KSEC to get through.
Well, Corrupted G sending it into the corner, not quite enough power. Ooh, Mektos, that's a dangerous position to be in. You miss that touch and you get scored on. That's going to fall back down yet again. Taroko there to respond on the right side. Mektos flips it over one, but Rodoko to get it back downfield. It could be an opportunity. Corrupted G sending it near. He's got the follow-up, not on. Taroko also not on, and he can't get the third. Mektos able to save the day, but now they've still got 45 seconds, and it remains a 2-goal game.
Couple of opportunities in this series for Corrupted G that he certainly would want back. The accuracy just not there on these shots. When the play was there, everything was set up. It just took that final shot, not able to get it, and that means that Absolute Leverage still on top. 2-goal lead here. If they stay on, they will complete this sweep.
Well, that's near 15 seconds remaining. Chaos have got to find something right now. Almost an own goal. That would have just been the cherry on the cake here. 5 seconds left. They're not in possession. GG's Chaos Esports, because you just got swept by Absolute Leverage. And to Absolute Leverage, good game. Good game.
Yeah, they knew what was at stake, and they came to play. Once this ball drops, that will finish it off. Absolute Leverage 3-0 in this series, their final match of the rival series, and they get that W. That ensures that they will stay in the rival series for next season.
Yeah, and you know, for a team that sort of was pushing the top 3, pushing potentially to be in that #1 spot, missing opportunities like from what we saw from them there in that final game, you can't do that, especially when you're in situations like this. That's just, you have to hit those. And I know the players are trying to hit everything they can. I know they're not trying to miss, but consistency is really key in those situations, because especially at the end with about 50-ish seconds left in the game, they had 3 shots that they could have scored, and they just go off the woodwork. I don't really understand what ended up happening. Ryan, maybe you can bring a little more insight into what we just saw with Chaos essentially getting 3-0 swept.
How close this season is and just how outrageous some of these games can become. And, you know, they have the saying in football of any given Sunday, anybody can take their games. And, you know, that's exactly what we see here. And the problem that I saw there, though, is Chaos, they really did a great job on the offense. They just could not, for the life of them, put those goals away. And that was just really unfortunate to watch on that. But, I mean, maybe that's just a part of it. But is there anything else that you guys noticed in particular that really threw Chaos off here? Because they just got swept. They didn't take a single thing. So now Absolute Leverage are guaranteed to be back for next season. They are guaranteed that 4th place spot for the end of the season standings, and Chaos now no longer have a chance at claiming that 3rd place spot for the promotion relegation tournament. So, Sam, I'm just going to start with you. What went wrong?
Well, I mean, we talked about it. I hate to beat the dead horse here, but striking ability and accuracy, when you get to this level, you're not going to have very many opportunities. So when you do get those opportunities, it is absolutely paramount that you can bury those opportunities. And it really can be the difference between a series. It can be the difference between how your entire season goes, as we see Chaos EC struggling now to find that early momentum that they had early in this season. So judging from that series and some of the previous series as well, they really need that quick strike ability, and they've got to find a way to just get that kill shot. When teams are giving you that moment, you've got to find a way to make them pay, and we just didn't see that from Chaos.
And Sleegy, what did you notice here?
I mean, it really just felt like Absolute Leverage was just in control from the beginning to the end. They had the momentum, they had the plays, and when it ultimately comes down to it, when Chaos got into positions where they could have tried to climb their way back, when they could have tried to get back in the series, they just didn't have the execution. They fell flat when they absolutely needed to score, and they end up losing the series 3-0. It's essentially as simple as that. When the positions came their way, they didn't capitalize on them.
And I mean, we should know Absolute Leverage even a little bit, right? Because I know we're harping on Chaos EC, but this is a team that started 1-3 this season. So Absolute Leverage, they only dropped 1 match in their final 5 matches. So they go 4-1 to finish off the season. So you've got a team too on the other side that was playing extremely well. I believe that Absolute Leverage is starting to find their game, and you saw that in this match with the way that they played too. So really props to Absolute Leverage on that side as well.
No, and you're absolutely right in calling that out, because we saw several teams, Absolute Leverage, Monkey Business, and even 72-Pin Connector, they really floundered there at the start of the season, and they slowly kind of found their footing. Some of them maybe a little bit too late, but they did find their way through, and they found that sort of chemistry that they'd been looking for towards the end of the season. I think that's part of what makes this season so interesting, is teams like Chaos did very well at the start, and they started struggling as these other teams kind of figured things out. And so, I mean, just real quick, I'm going to start with you, Sleegy. Who was your MVP here for this match?
Oh, man. It's so hard to choose.
It's always
really,
tough.
It's always tough. I mean, Wanda Mike made a lot of really good plays. Kinsei made a lot of really good plays. Rodoko made a lot of really good plays. You know, they always all do. But I think for me, I'm going to have to actually give this to Kinsei, in my opinion. I think that he, they were all working together. Their synergy was just so good. But at the end of the day, Kinsei, like sort of what we saw all series long, was just in the positions he needed to be. He got it downfield. He was the solid player, and he, to me, made the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah, and I agree. Kinsei ended up being that difference maker. I think if you look at the entire season, you probably say Wanda Mike MVP for the season. He's just been so consistent for this squad. But in this series, Kinsei was certainly that difference maker, where when good things were happening, Kinsei was stepping up, making plays happen. Wanda Mike was there. He was doing what he does. Kinsei really stepped up and showed that he can also play at that level. So, I think Kinsei deserves it.
See, this is the one match where I actually kind of disagree. I think I'm going to have to give it to Wonder Mike, because, again, he pulled off those crucial overtime goals that helped propel them into this final game, where they just took things in clean fashion. And so, I mean, just for the importance of the goals that he put in, I have to give it to him off of that alone. But I do agree Kinsei could have been the one. But that is going to do it for that matchup there. Let's take a look here at the standings now, just to see where everybody stacks up. And, I mean, right now, like I was saying, we have Absolute Leverage. They are for sure claiming that 4th place position. And you can see it right there. They end the season 5-4. This was their final game. So, I mean, congratulations to them for closing it out in true clean fashion. And there again, we have Charlotte, Phoenix, Omni Nation, and Stromboli duking it out for those top spots. And with this loss, actually, this guarantees Omni Nation a top 3 position. So now we're just looking to see how those guys finish things out. And then further down, we have Monkey Business, Chaos Esports, still in contention for Season 10, but they are right on the cusp of elimination. Then we have Mirage, 72 Pin Connector, and Warriors International. Again, they are even still in contention for next season. RBG Esports is guaranteed to be dropped for Season 10. Man, just what a season it has been and what a ride it has been here on the B stream. We are just so happy to have you guys with us for that ride as well. If you want to take a look back on any of the matchups that have happened throughout this season and here on this channel, you can go over to YouTube and follow us there. Go check us out on youtube.com/Rival Esports. We have all of our matches archived. You can go watch these matches. You can go back and watch some DreamHack stuff if you're into that. I mean, anything is that we have done is over there for you guys. And we would love to have you guys go join us over there. But man, what a day it's been. Sleegy, Samael, y'all got any final words before we close this bad boy out?
Nah, just it's been an incredible night. A reverse sweep still ringing in my mind. One of the best series I think I've ever seen in my life, and I couldn't have asked for just a better way to end the B stream. And you know, I hope we're back. This season of Rival was so competitive. I can't wait to see how it finishes off, and then also how the next season of Rival ends up stacking up. It's been fun.
No doubt. Sleegy said it. This has been a fantastic ride. Thank you to everyone who's been here watching the B stream as we've gone through this season. It has been an absolute fantastic one. But of course, we got a few more matches to figure out exactly how these standings are going to shake out. So as we bow out, we'll all be watching just like you guys will, making sure we see what happens. But yeah, it's just been a great time.
Yeah, we're excited to see how this all ends up. But we want to give a quick shout out to Phalius for helping us out with the overlays today. Quinn as our match admin. B-Dog there on production. And then a huge shout out to Sleegy and Hunted as our play-by-play commentators. And Samael and Meet and Greek as our color commentators. I'm your host, Ryan, and it has been our pleasure to serve you for the entirety of Season 9 for the Rival Series B stream. We will hopefully see you guys next season. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, there's still one more week of Rival Series action going to take place on the main channel this coming Friday. You don't want to miss it as we see the thrilling conclusion. We'll see you guys next time.